Good afternoon. So I thought I would bring you the updates that we have thus far on the situation with Israel and Hamas. There are some interesting things that are coming out. I won't say surprising because I think there is enough of us that really knew this all along. So we'll get right into it, and let me share my screen up there for you. Now, we're going to cover this article first. This article is about overnight. Then we're going to tell you the more recent article. This one here says Israel. Netanyahu convenes war cabinet, overnight shelling of Hamas positions. And says Israel carried out airstrikes in Gaza early this morning, and its jets also struck Lebanon overnight, while Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has called for a meeting of his top generals and his war cabinet on the escalating conflict. The Israeli attacks were concentrated in the central and northern Gaza Strip, Palestinian media reported. An attack on a residence near the Jabalia, maybe Jabalia refugee camp in northern Gaza Strip has claimed the lives of Palestinians and injured others, according to media reports. In the Israeli occupied West Bank, 2 Palestinians were killed by Israeli soldiers in the Javelin refugee camp near Ramallah, the Palestinian Ministry of Health announced today. Residents told Reuters that Israeli forces raided the camp and made widespread arrests as they clashed with gunmen and some stone-throwing youths. The Israeli military has not issued a statement on the incident. So, of course, they're worried about expanding conflicts. But more to what I wanted to speak on is this article here. If I can get it to go, hang on. There we go. Shock video for Israel. Hamas armed with AT4 Javelin NLAW via Ukraine. Washington Post says deadly surprise awaits IDF in Gaza. Thought this sounded interesting. And of course, I'll put the links. They're both, of course, the War News 24/7 site. So they'll be in Greek. You'll have to translate it to English. You know the drill. But I'll put the links to both these articles down below as always. Hamas has released a video confirming the information has been circulating for some time, and they said that large stocks of American and generally NATO weapons that had been delivered to Ukraine are in Gaza. In the video, Hamas shows that it has a large quantity of AT4 and NLAW anti-tank missiles and rockets for use against the Israeli Army's Merkava 3, 4 TVM main battle tanks in Gaza. I believe that's Roman numeral 4, I guess. I'm not sure. It is known that many of the weapons donated by the U.S. to Ukraine ended up on the black market, but the exact way the Palestinians used to acquire them is not known. A few days ago, Russian, Turkish, and American media had warned Israel that Hamas had large quantities of weapons that it took, unknown how, from Ukraine. They talked about M4, various types of anti-tank, and such as Javelin, up to Manpad, Stinger, and others. Ukraine's military intelligence service has accused Russia of transferring Western weapons it obtained from Ukrainian warehouses to various fronts in the war on Hamas to blame Kiev for allegedly selling arms to terrorists. I think this is probably what we're looking at here. Israel has made no bones about the idea that they're going to have a fight ahead of them. Even the quickest estimates are talking. Sorry, I was making sure that the monitor switched back right. Even the quickest estimates that I've heard is a few months, and I think it's going to take a lot longer than that. I really fully expect that other groups like Hezbollah will get involved. I think when it reaches a point, critical mass, as they say, I think that Hezbollah will get involved. There's a lot of talk now different people, whether it be YouTube, other places, a lot of talk now about whether or not the United States is looking to cut off the head of the snake. In other words, is the reason for all the delays, is it really because of what they're going to do? Is they're actually going to go after Iran? I don't know. And I think if they were to make that move, like right at this point in time, I think that would be a bit hasty. I really do. Now, I know a lot of people would disagree with that. I am speaking from a geopolitical view here. I don't think that that would be the wisest move for multiple reasons. For one, it is going to lead to conflict. And I do think, honestly, if we were to go in to try to take out Iran, I don't think that Iran would be alone. I think that that would be a red line that would be crossed by well, we'd cross it, but red lines both of Russia and China. If we were to go in and just decapitate Iran, so to speak, right? I don't think that that honestly is what's going on. And if it is what's going on, you better damn well have your T's crossed and your I's dotted, because I think things go upside down real quick. I do not think for a second that Putin wants to harm Americans. I don't think that for a second. I don't. And I'm not a Putin sympathizer or anything. No, I'm just looking at and using common sense and observational skills. I don't think that's his motive. Now, I'm not so confident with Xi Jinping as far as whether or not he romanticizes about world dominance, because I kind of think he does. I don't think Putin really does. I think Putin is much more grounded, and that's just my opinion. But I think what we're about to see unfold here is going to be one hell of a nasty start to the next phase for the planet. You know, everybody right now, and when I'm saying everybody, I mean, I'm talking about some choice world leaders like Putin and Xi and Biden. They're all talking about the New World Order. Every one of them are talking about the New World Order. Now, I find that fascinating in and of itself, because I really honestly think that everybody's being played. I really think everybody's being played here. I think what the intent is, as it usually is Hegelian dialectic. They will do everything they can to get you and I to beg for the solutions that they're wanting to offer. That's the game. Whether or not they win depends on you as an individual, whether or not you fall for it, whether or not you take a part in it. That's why I make it very clear. I am not picking a side here. There are atrocities being committed by both sides, and that is done in every single conflict in human history. This isn't nothing new. So to pick one side out over the other side because of wartime atrocities, you're not going to get there very far with me. And you know, I can understand the mindset behind what somebody might do out of rage because people that they love, they just watched them get killed. I get it. I get it. I'm not condoning it by any way, shape, or form. But I also can't say that I would absolutely be above it, and most of you can. Because fortunately, most of us have never been in that position. Thank the Father. It is what it is. It's war. And you've heard it said many times, war is hell. I don't know a way of backing away from this as far as nations are concerned. We'll see what happens. But I think a lot of it's really interesting how it's working out, especially considering that we now have hard evidence that Hamas has weapons that were intended for Ukraine. We all knew that they were hitting the black market, but I don't think really we knew exactly where it was going to go. We just could make some guesses. I don't know. Again, I think in the end, I think it's a big damn game. I think it's a big damn game that they're getting everybody for the most part to fall for. And I really honestly think before it's all said and done, they will have the large majority sold hook, line, and sinker. Don't be one of them. Don't be one of them. Look ahead. Look and see where they're trying to place you. Then you look ahead of that and don't fall for their traps. That's the best advice that I can give you. Because if there's one thing for certain, if it's a group and there's a leadership of that group, and this goes for whether it's a country, whether it's a political party, whether it's an organization, you have to truly be honest about the agenda and the motives of said group. If they're not righteous, if they try to mislead, anything like that, it's not righteous. And I thought, and it took me a long time to get this through my thick skull, but I thought what we were most supposed to strive to do is live by the Father's words. Not my own, not political parties, not leaders of nations, not our favorite sports stars or our favorite movie stars. Father. Only the Father. I guarantee you, if we can ever manage to get back to that, and I don't see that happening until after the fall, but we could prevent it all if, as individuals, we would turn back to His ways. Absolutely. But you're not going to see it because humans are flawed. And humans that are infected with vanity and pride and greed, they will destroy anything that's good so they can continue with their motives and their agendas. What's imperative that we as individuals do is reject and turn our backs on individuals like that, on individuals that want to charge you in any particular way. That's not good. Everybody should respect you to the limit, to the level of allowing you to have your own thoughts, your own opinions, your own views. And anybody that wants to interfere with that, it doesn't matter how much they talk about being a patriot or how much they scream about freedom. They don't give a damn about it. If they gave a damn about it, they would respect your opinion, and if they can't accept it, they just wouldn't talk to you about it. But in today's society, we have a world full of narcissists that are trying to force their views down everybody else's throat. And it doesn't work. It leads to societal collapse. And I'll give you Exhibit A, the U.S. of A. Shalom.